Lord of Chaos here, with another one.
Okay, Lord of Chaos here, looking to make a video about adventurer talents. I said in my most recent stream that I would go over talents. I just didn't have a chance to do that during the stream because we were short on time as the War of Waters match was just about to start. But I did promise I was going to make a video about adventurer talents, so that's what I'll be giving you here today. So we're just going to come on over to the talents. You'll see that it's at the bottom of the screen. Now, due to the fact that I had a War of Waters match on Friday, I turned all my talents over to War specifically because I needed the extra oomph when it came to battles to ensure that I was winning as many as I could. And if you were able to watch the stream, you would have seen that I was up against an opponent that was extremely strong, and the extra additional stats definitely did help, even though I still ended up spending about 38 hours worth of speed ups on that battle. But as you can see from the visuals, I focus mainly on my infantry stats, my cavalry stats, as I find those to be the most important. Now, these cavalry stats, I would usually not go for these stats in particular. However, I'll explain in a little while the reason as to why, because usually I would just follow the path to get all the way across here so that I can get Colossal March, because this is a very important ability because it allows you to get 10% more march capacity over the course of 30 minutes. It's a shame it isn't an hour, seeing as most battles, most PvE battles and PvP battles like War of Waters, they're going to cost you an hour. So it would be nice if that was an hour as opposed to 30 minutes, but due to the fact that it's 30 minutes, it's that extra boost when you need it in a battle, you just activate it. So following on from that specific skill, I focus on the distance, and I come across, and then I make sure I'm grabbing all infantry boost stats. So as it's not POC or it's not KVK this weekend, I am not going to use battlefield treatment. So at the time of recording this video, there was no KVK that weekend, so I did not choose battlefield treatment. However, this weekend coming, it is going to be KVK, so I will be selecting that battlefield treatment, and then I will follow on ahead towards the cavalry attack, defense, and health. However, due to the fact that on that weekend that I made this video, there was no KVK, so I could double back on myself and get the cavalry attack, defense, and health from back here. And I get to save myself 5%, a sneaky little 5%. And I think that makes the difference. So I definitely came back on myself so I can get that extra bit of value, as opposed to having to breach through the battlefield treatment skills in order to get onwards towards those cavalry skills. So in terms of what I would do on a weekly basis, I would ensure that I am focusing on the balance. If you look at the top of the screen, there are a number of options, and I would focus on balance and economy when it comes to choosing my abilities. So firstly, I would have to reset my talent points. So as a free-to-play player, you need to be ensuring that on a weekly basis you are managing your goals such that you have 2,000 gold every single week in order to follow this way of doing things, so that you can ensure that you're maximizing the benefits of your castle on a weekly basis, because it is extremely important that you are using these beneficial abilities on a weekly basis in order to improve your castle. Whereas when it's a War of Waters match, you do want to switch over to your specifically war talents. Whereas during the week for your Oracle Reefs, you don't really need all your talent points inside a war. So coming on over to balance, after we've reset, I've now got 171 points. And we're going to try and focus on getting as far as we can so that we can ensure that we get this population surge, which is a really good skill that is going to give you a lot more bang for your buck when it comes to building your troops. So over a 30-minute period, you will get a 25% discount. Now, in terms of the skill I just selected, your stamina reduction, that gives you 20% off on your stamina, and that's for 10 minutes, so you have to be extremely quick. And that does work in conjunction with your dream team, your Ching and your Peggy. So when you're using your Ching and your Peggy and you're going over your stamina consumption for your aquanauts, for your ponies, for your crawlers, it's going to be so much more cheaper, and it's going to allow you to gather all these brilliant rewards as fast as possible. So that's the way I use this skill on a weekly basis. Unfortunately, you only get this skill once every 24 hours and it only lasts for 10 minutes. So you really have to be maximizing as much as you can. So I use it because I need to attack these special monsters in the kingdom in order to get my aristocrat badges. So as you can see, I'm not too far away from being able to have enough badges to get my next stronghold level. So on a week-to-week basis, you really need to be making sure that you're gathering enough gold so that you can execute this this method of using your talents on a weekly basis. Now, POC in particular is going to help you because it's one of the ways as a free-to-play player you can gather a lot of gold, and it's very easy to gather a lot of gold with POC due to the fact that in order to get some gold rewards, all you have to do really is to build troops. So as long as you've got speed ups, you can get a lot of gold from building troops. Now there's another way to get gold. On a daily basis, you're going to get this little puzzle where your mermaid basically can go. I don't know what you call this, the mermaid lake. And there will be a chest right there on that rock that you can do. And you can gather a little bit of gold on a day-to-day basis. Now, I've recently released a video on the channel on how you can make 450 gold on a day-to-day basis. Make sure you check that out. It's to do with sharpshooter, and it only works on the phone. But going back to making gold on a day-to-day basis during POC week, focus on building troops. Because as you can see, you can make a decent amount of gold during POC week just by getting yourself within the sweet spot of the 21 to 50 range, I'd say. Now, they've made it additionally harder to score on POC, but I'd still say as a free-to-play player, you could still get within 21 to 50 quite easily by building troops. Now we're going to go back over to talents. We're going to focus, as I said earlier, on getting as far as picking up that skill, the population surge skill, because that is going to give you a 25% discount on building troops. And obviously due to the fact that this is POC week, it's very important that we can get our resources down when it comes to building troops, especially due to the fact that I'm looking to make a big purchase on SH34 shortly. So we're just going over the stamina reduction talent, ability, and the benefits of that. As you can see, 20% stamina consumption decrease when you use Peggy and Ching. Oh my days, it's just a match made in heaven. And this does work I believe, on army camps. I think that statement is outdated. Or it's you can get stamina reduction on camps with Peggy and Ching. I need to really test that. But definitely it works on the special monsters. So your crawlers, your ponies, your aquanauts, you can use that stamina reduction on those so that you're getting those rewards for a little bit cheaper. But obviously, due to the nature of those monsters, it takes a bit of time to get to them. So it's probably not most beneficial to you to use that skill on those sort of kingdom monsters. It's probably best when you just want to attack monsters, well, threats, that you use that skill. Now, Threat Hunter, which is just after Population Surge, I would usually choose that as it would give you 20% march speed increase when going towards monsters. However, due to this new feature that's coming to the game this week, I think it's called Mermaid Esotericas, I actually am getting a 30% threat march speed, as can be seen here. Now, seeing as I'm getting 30% for free, because it just became available to me today, I guess that having an additional 20% march speed is an additional bonus. But I'm not really attacking threats at the moment because I'm focused on getting those chests so that I can get those badges so that I can upgrade my stronghold. So seeing as I'm not really attacking threats, and due to the nature of those monsters, I need to be joining the rallies of my T11 players. Or if I'm lucky to have, 4 or 5 solid T10 players, I can lead a charge on one of those monsters. Due to the fact that I'm usually joining other people's rallies, my threat march speed isn't as important. So I can dedicate those 20 skill points towards something different. And I will show you that I focus those towards war, so that I can be doing more damage during the Oracle Reef match. However, there probably is an argument to be made that having Threat Hunter makes you faster during Oracle Reefs, which means you can attack the monsters faster and you could do more damage quickly. So there is that argument to be had. So maybe you want to dump 20%, 20 points in there if you can. But the choice is yours, to be honest. And after I get to Population Surge, I will focus on economy, and I'm going to be trying to get to development. That's as far as I'll go in economy. This is a very, very important skill. It's one of the most crucial reasons that you change over your skills on a weekly basis, due to the fact that you can get a 20% reduction on your research, on your construction tasks. So you're getting a fifth off, which is absolutely ridiculous. You're getting a fifth off on all your research tasks and all your construction tasks. Now, in the early game, it has probably not as an important, but when you are, stronghold 30 and above, this skill definitely comes in handy, and it's something you should be having on a day-to-day basis. Unfortunately, you can only use it once every 24 hours, but if you manage your time well, you should be able to get a good amount of use of it out of it during the week. Now, I would focus on production of obsidian over grain production, but sometimes it might be beneficial to choose the grain production route, due to the fact that grain is very valuable when it comes to the market. You get a lot of good deals on your grain. So the choice is completely up to you. I just usually go for obsidian. Now, instant yield is a extremely good skill, as it helps you withdraw 5 hours worth of farming on your patches within the castle, and you can use that once every 12 hours. So you should be able to do it twice a day if you're extremely efficient. Now, when it comes to these patches, you better be making sure that you are boosting them, as if you boost them, you get 100% return on these patches. So you're getting double the output on a day-to-day basis. So if you're not boosting them, you're essentially getting half the RSS of every castle that is boosting them. So, you know, people are growing double as strong as you if you're not doing this. So you need to be making sure on a day-to-day basis that you are boosting all your patches. And it is extremely cheap. As long as you have alliance points and you're donating to your alliance on a day-to-day basis, you're going to be getting enough alliance points that you can come on over to the alliance store and you can purchase those boosts. But if you come on over here, you can check your estate stats and you can see just how much of a difference the item boost bonus is making to your patches. As you can see on the left, this number 1052, that's the base amount my patch is making. But on the right in green, that is the bonus I am making off of my castle for my research talents and for the boost. As you can see, it's quadruple what the base is for the patch. So it's really important that you're working on your research, and it's really important that you're activating your item boost. Look at that, 10,847 per hour. That's absolutely insane, the boost I'm getting off of you know, the item. So one of the ways you can get these items, you can come over to the dungeon and you can purchase those from the store, and you can purchase those with coins you can get from plundering the levels. And as you can see at the bottom of the store, once I get to it, apologies, I made a schoolboy error and OBS cut my audio, so I'm having to voice over this video so not to waste the footage I made, which was 40 minutes. So if you are wondering why sometimes the visuals is out of sync, it's because I'm voiceovering the video. But this is where you can get some of these additional item boosts. But I usually purchase them from the Alliance store. As you can see, our store is well stocked. Everybody in the Alliance is purchasing these on a day-to-day basis because they want to make sure they're getting a 100% boost. It is extremely important that you are doing this on a daily basis. I can't stress this enough. And it's so cheap. Look at how many alliance points it costs. It only costs 4,000 per item. So as long as you're donating to your alliance on a day-to-day basis, you will have enough. And then once you use that in conjunction with this instant yield talent, it's a wonderful thing to do. Now we are still focusing on getting towards development. As I said, this is an important talent. We need to make sure that we've got that. And then we're going to come on over to war afterwards. We don't need any of these stats boosts, although research is pretty nice if you want to go over there, but it costs you 40 skill points, which is pretty expensive. But when we come on down to war, we want to focus on all of those infantry stats. We come on down here, we select our distance attack, we don't push any further, we come straight across for the cavalry, get that march capacity, then we go straight up. In a choice between infantry stat and cavalry stats, you should always be choosing infantry stats, as infantry is your first line of defense. It is very important you are focusing on your infantry stats over your cav stats. So that's why I go this way. But in terms of distance health and distance defense, I don't usually focus too much on those. I don't find them to be that important. I know there are some heroes that can attack your back wall, but you know, those types of battles you have with a Bella or a Letizia are very niche and very rare. No one really uses them. So as long as you have a strong cavalry and infantry base, you shouldn't really see your distance shouldn't have too much work to do. Now, these are all the new abilities we've got due to the fact that we changed over our talents. we, on a day-to-day basis, are going to be using all of these talents. That's how important they are, and that's the reason why we have to change over to make sure we have access to those. Although we have lost the Colossal March, which is very important for Ancient Gates, so you might see a dip in your performance for Ancient Gates now that you haven't got your Colossal March for it, and that might impact your ability to get that additional steel bonus on a bi-daily basis. So that probably is something you should consider. But as you can see, we just activated the instant yield, and we got almost 3 million wheat, which is wonderful because we can go over to the market with that every 12 hours and we can purchase some goodies over here. And it also gives you some other RSS, which we can use to purchase some goodies as well. And you can get some of those boosts in here as well. Now, usually when I go to the market, the thing I'm trying to get the most is the March speed ups. Like, the March speed ups are so important because as a free-to-play player, I don't have gold to throw around, and there's certain marches that I really need to speed up because I really need to be in a building fast, or I really need to join somebody's rally fast, or I really need to get to that castle as soon as possible in order to ensure that I am attacking the enemy first before they move. Now, one of the things I hate about this new market layout is that they no longer got the female here, and they've no longer got a record of what RSS you have. So you have to come out of the store in order to see how much wheat you need to use to get down. And here we go, March speed up. Love this item, 370 gold. We purchase this every time, but you now have to leave the store in order to see how much RSS you've got that you need to spend so that you are under your storage protection from your troops. So yeah, I think they need to change that. I think this is a UI problem. And when I say UI, that is tech jargon for user interface. So this is a video about talents, but I'm just going to go over research as well, as I think that is a crucial part of your castle. And that's definitely something we should cover in this video. Now, there's various research you can do. So development usually is focused around research tasks, is focused around construction, is focused around battlefield treatment. I can't stress to you enough how important battlefield treatment is. You've also got some troop training speed ups percentages in there as well. Next, we have economy. Economy gives you a lot of bonuses towards your gathering and your production of your patches within your castle. Defense is self-explanatory. All the skills in there are going to help increase your fortress. Creation. Now, creation is very important, but it's something you need to get out of the way as soon as possible. You could make do with just doing the ancient tomb stamina limit and still beat the creation dungeon. That's the only real one out of all of these skills that you need to focus on, to be honest. However, there's just some kids walking by singing. That caught me off guard. But yeah, the creation, other talents, the attack, the health, the defense, you could make do without them. But if you want to create, if you want to beat the creation dungeon as soon as possible, you definitely want to grab those as soon as possible. Now, combat, that is the most important part of research, and you definitely should focus on that. But first, we're going to go over to development, and I'm going to show you the skills that I have focused on, that if I could do it again, I wouldn't focus so much on them. And one of those being upkeep reduction. This skill is not worth your time and is not worth your resources. Like, literally, you're going to get up to a point in the game where your troops just eat your wheat so fast, it doesn't even matter. Like, literally, you could open the wheat, and in the time it takes for you to open the wheat, they've eaten your wheat so fast, you can't even purchase something from the market in the time it took you to open that wheat. Like, you have to additionally open another 30k just to be able to have enough wheat to purchase that item in the market. So upkeep reduction really doesn't make a difference. It's not important. But battlefield treatment is the most important skill inside of development. And I can't stress to you enough how much you need to max this out as soon as possible, especially if you want to play in KVK, and especially if you have a kingdom where people like to attack each other. This one single talent, skill, whatever you want to call it, helps you so much in preserving the amount of troops that you lose when it comes to a battle. Now, training speed and fast heal. Fast heal is definitely an important stat within development, and you need to be leveling up that as well. Definitely fast heal and definitely train speed, because you are going to be building troops every single day of the week. If you're not building troops every single day of the week, I don't know what you're doing with your castle. Like, there should never be a moment that you're not building troops. That's why it's very important you level up your train speed. And stamina recovery as well is a very important skill, because that's going to allow you to build back your stamina quickly. That way you can be attacking, you know, your threats and your special kingdom monsters as fast as possible. So that is about it when it comes to development. You can skimp on the storage, you can skimp on the troop load, you can skimp on the upkeep reduction, but everything else within development you need to be focusing on: the research, the construction, the battlefield treatment, the faster heal, and you also can skimp on the hospital capacity. So next we are going to be coming to economy. I don't want to spend too much time here, but basically I usually only level up these when, you know, I'm low on RSS, or the research I really want to do is going to cost me too much time. Like, I don't really focus too much on economy, you know, even though I probably should because of, you know, RSS. But right now, I can crack a special monster and get 2.5 mil wheat, you know, for 40-50 stamina with a Peggy and Ching. So I'm not really too concerned too much about RSS. Plus I've got about, you know, 5 or 6 farms. So when it comes to RSS, I'm not really too focused on how fast I can gather or how fast I can, you know, produce RSS. So I would say that's not as valuable of a area of research as other things, especially when compared to defense, which you're going to be using all the time in your PvE game modes and your PvP game modes, be that Lord of Ties, Heron of Bones, or War of Waters. So it's extremely important to be leveling these up. There are times where you can push ahead and get your estate defender attack, defense, and health for cheaper than what it would be before. That's why you can see I'm doubling back here to do some research, but I've pushed forwards because it was actually cheaper to do the ones ahead than it was to get these ones down here. So you need to be careful when it comes to learning research, that you're checking how much something costs and how long it's going to take. But in terms of combat, I've literally done most of them. Like, this is your bread and butter. Something has happened here. OBS has had a meltdown. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to fix that. I should have known something was wrong when this happened, because I actually had to fix the visuals, but I don't know. Here we go. So we're back. I have literally, the things I love in here are march speed, march capacity, literally anything with march in it. I love it from combat. And your distance attack, your cavalry attack, defense, and health, and your infantry attack, health, and defense. These are the most, and your march slots. These are the most important researches you want to do within combat. Like, you can skimp on the artillery, health, defense, and attack. You can skimp on the distance, defense, and health. But everything else you should be maxing out. Like, if you want to just push ahead with just doing one on a distance defense, one on a distance health, like, feel confident in doing that. Like, don't worry about it too much for the reasons I've explained before. It's really not that big of an issue. If I have to push forwards to get some infantry attack, defense, and health, I'll do that. Like, don't worry about maxing out the distance, health, and defense if you can just push past it. French march speed is also very good, but I wouldn't say it's a priority. You definitely could do without it. So if you just want to push ahead on those. Troop formation also isn't a priority. If you want to, you can push ahead without it. And in this instance, it doesn't actually hold up anything. So you can leave those till you're coming back to do research, because you've run out of things to do. That's when you will pick up those sort of researches. So your distance health, your distance defense, your troop formations, your threat march speed. You're going to be leaving those to the end, and you're going to be prioritizing your infantry attack, your infantry defense, your infantry health. The same on your cavalry. And your march speed ups, your march speed and your march capacity. Those are way more important researches to be getting out of the way. So we will be moving on to Combat 2 shortly. And Combat 2 is like absolutely important. From the moment you open it, you need to be doing those ASAP. I can't stress that enough to you. I think it's somewhere around SH30 that you will open up Combat 2. And Combat 2 is just so much more cheaper in the beginning for stats. And they'll give you so much more than Combat. So as soon as you open that up, feel confident in jumping in there and doing as many of the combat skills as possible. Now we're just going over the fact that I really don't do artillery stuff too much. It's a low priority. But yeah, as you can see, you're getting some ridiculous stat boosts in Combat 2. So you want to be focusing on those as much as you can. It's a very important part of your castle to get your Combat 2s sorted as soon as they become available. As you can see, I've pretty much maxed out these Combat 2s. Whenever you see the artillery is not on 1, it's because I ran out of things to do and I've gone back on myself. I've never done it that way as I was proceeding forwards, basically. As you can see, this march capacity is extremely expensive, so I'm not going to do that just yet, seeing as I'm trying to get to Stronghold 34 as soon as possible. But in this instance, I had to press through that march capacity to get to the infantry stats, which were... I can't stress to you enough, you know, as I have done the whole video, the importance of your infantry stats, as it is your first line of defense. So I will spend on an expensive march capacity in order to get some more infantry stats. That's my way of doing things. But you decide how you want to do things. And lastly, there's a lot of stats to be made within the creation dungeon, so don't be sleeping on that. As you level your creation, you'll be getting these wonderful bonuses. So you want to be leveling your creation as fast as you can. You can get these additional bonuses like plus 30% cav health, plus 30% cav attack, plus 30% distance attack, which is a very, very good one. So you want to be leveling your creation as fast as possible. And this one, distance versus infantry damage, this is one of the most important stats in the game. Like, I can't stress you enough. So make sure you get that as soon as possible, and make sure that your alliance leader is focused on that when it comes to the alliance skill. If you're part of a new relatively new kingdom, this is one of the alliance stats you should be looking to level up as soon as possible. You also, I believe, on the Kong and your Mecha Kong and your Dragon, you can pick some distance and infantry damage up there. So you definitely want to pick up those stats when you can as available, due to the fact that distance is potent against infantry, and as I've already told you, distance is superior to infantry. So any stats that help boost that, you definitely want to get. Now, the reason why you want to finish the creation dungeon as soon as possible is because you can get all these troop health, troop attacks, troop defense bonuses for beating each section within the dungeon. Now, if you push fast enough, if you're part of a new kingdom, this is where you're going to get your first troop boost stats. You know, you can get these before you even get gemstones, basically. So you want to be pushing into the dungeon as fast as you can. And in order to do so, you're going to be wanting to choose the path of the warrior, as the path of the warrior is the strongest path for a creation. I repeat, the path of the warrior is the strongest path for a creation. Do not waste your time on doing any of the other ones. Do not waste your time on brutal. Do not waste your time on explosive. Now, you'll see that I have my skill points in brutal. I will come back to that in a moment. The only reason I have my skill points in brutal is because when you complete the dungeon, it is more beneficial for your adventurous skills if you have your creation talent points within brutal. So just like we reset our adventurer talents on a week-to-week basis, we will, one time after we beat the dungeon, reset our brutal talent points. Reset our talent points to brutal. So yeah, you want to be focused on getting as far as you can inside warrior for your creation if it's your first time around, and getting as many of these skills as possible to boost up your creation so that you can beat the dungeon as soon as possible. And now, just quickly, I'll go over the equipment you need to build for your warrior. So in terms of building equipment for your creation, for each color, or for each rank, so for the creation, there are 3 pieces of equipment you can build. Now, for warrior, you need to always be choosing the one in the middle. In terms of the weapon, it's going to be an axe each time. So when it comes time to choose a weapon for your warrior creation, you're going to want to choose anything that's got axe in the title. The same is true for the sidearm. It's going to need to be a shield. Now, with the headgear, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, as it's usually a helmet you need. However, a lot of items for separate creation paths could look like or be misconstrued with being a helmet. So just make sure you're coming over here to the creation equipment screen and just double checking that it is the piece of armor that is in the middle of all 3 of the available things you could produce. That way you don't end up creating the wrong item, which could be a problem and could slow your progression. But you want to be beating the creation dungeon as soon as possible, as you're going to get so much stat boosts and in the beginning of the game, that's going to push you so much further ahead than the other players. It doesn't become so important later on in the game, because at that point people are, you know, the spenders are spending so much on, you know, equipment, etc, etc, so it doesn't really make a difference. But if you're in a new kingdom, it definitely is going to make a really big difference if you've got these additional troop stats when you're going into battle. So once you complete the dungeon, you're going to want to put all your creation talent points inside a brutal, as it gives the best rewards for your adventurer in terms of troop attack, troop health, infantry defense, infantry health. Trust me, I've already looked through all the separate creation paths, and this is the best. So once you've completed the dungeon with the warrior path, then you reset all your creation talents and you stick them all inside a brutal, and then you try and get all the way to the end, which is going to take a while to get that troop attack and that cavalry stat boost. And then after you do that, you would go inside your warrior or explosive and build that up. But you know, this is going to take a long time. Like, I've been playing the game for a year and I still haven't maxed out the creation. So that is what you will need to do. But you could also ensure that you are getting on top, basically, of the... Let me show you. You could also make sure that you are getting on top of the leaderboard as soon as possible. So if you come over here, you select this cup in the top right, you will have a leaderboard. Now, most of you probably won't even know this leaderboard exists, due to the fact that unless you're in the top 10 in your kingdom, you're not really going to get any rewards. Now, if you are in the top 10 in your kingdom, you can get some additional gears, you can get some additional creation XP, you can get a stamina potion, and you can get some precision parts. So if you're a part of a new kingdom, then definitely you want to get into the top 10 as soon as possible. And that is an additional reason why you shouldn't listen to these other YouTubers that be giving you videos about, oh, you can go to creation dungeon and you can do explosive and you can do brutal. Don't listen to them. Literally, the creation dungeon only exists for you to beat it as fast as possible and get the stats. Don't worry about doing any of the other paths. You want to get yourself as high on the leaderboard as possible, as quickly as you can, so that you can be getting these additional rewards on a weekly basis. As you can see, I'm 6th in my kingdom and I'm a free-to-play player, and I had to work hard to get there. And it's one of the only leaderboards that, as a free-to-play player, you can get high in based on skill, not on how much you spend out of your wallet. So you definitely want to try and finish the creation dungeon as soon as possible, and choosing the warrior path is going to be the best way to do that. So I think I've just about covered all I want to cover in this video. If you feel that you've got some value from this video, then definitely like, comment and subscribe. The engagement on the video definitely helps the channel and helps the algorithm push our content out to more people that would be interested in this type of content. So if you can do that for us, that would be great. If there's anything in the video you disagree with, feel free to drop that down in the comment section, or join the Discord that is down in the description box of the video, and just voice your concerns. I'd definitely like to listen to those. And if there's something you feel I've missed, definitely put that down in the comment section, and I'll try and get to that as soon as possible. Or if you're having some trouble understanding anything I've said in the video, you know, make me aware of it. Feel free to DM me on Discord, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. We've recently created memberships for the channel, so if you've got the time, you've got the resources, definitely join the membership club so that we can help make more higher quality content for you guys. We're going to be putting our weekly streams. We have 2 streams a week that would be on Oracle Reefs, and that will be on War of Waters. We're going to be putting those just for members, but we will be streaming them live. You can also head on over to Twitch. Our Twitch is in the Discord, and our Twitch is also in the description box for this video. And if we can get to 50 members on Twitch as soon as possible, or followers, that would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to end this video now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll look forward to you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.
ありがとうございます。